Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Deepa Roy and I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Agriculture Extension, Uttar Banga Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, West Bengal, India. And the topic today I'm going to discuss here that is on behavioral science insights into improving the adoption of conservation agriculture technologies in the Eastern Gangetic Plain. Behavioral insights. Every day, each one of us make a lot of decisions, and these decisions are influenced by number of external and internal factors. BI, that is Behavioral Insight, studies the cognitive biases and how we make the choices and how we make different preferences and how we are behaving in a particular situations. We always try to make rational decisions, but we behave in complex ways. We have some limited cognitive abilities and we have limited willpower. So when someone make mistakes, it is very important to analyze the context that led to the decision. And BI help us in understanding the theories and how we are making our decisions and sometimes why we are behaving irrationally. Our ACIR project, what we are carrying out in Eastern Gangetic Plains, and we are applying behavioral science insights to adoption of conservation agricultural and sustainable intensification technologies. And for this research, we selected 5 locations, namely Bihar and West Bengal from India, Rangpur and Bangladesh from Rangpur and Rajshahi from Bangladesh, and Sunsari from Nepal. We have selected mainly smallholder farmers having average landholder capacity. For Sunsari, Nepal, it is 1.2 hectare. For Bihar, India, it is 0.75 hectares. For West Bengal, it is 1.3 hectare. And for Bangladesh, it is 0.6 hectare. And we have selected multiple fields having up to 3 crops per year. And it is mainly rice-based cropping system. But in some places, it is maize, wheat, mustard, and kidney bean. Regarding the CASI technology, the 3 main component or pillars of CASI is like minimum soil disturbance, maximizing the soil coverage, and crop rotation, and use of farm machinery also, like unpuddled rice transplanting, strip till crop planting, zero till crop planter, laser leveler, etc. Regarding the objective of today's presentation, that is, what is the relevance of factors arising from BSI to understanding adoption of conservation agriculture and sustainable intensification of technologies. Regarding the methodology, we have conducted 31 focus group discussions, 366 key informant interviews, out of which 42% were female respondents, and we have selected smallholder farmers and service providers as respondents, and all the questions were developed to elicit the information about the enhancer of and constraint to CASI adoption technologies. And we conducted it is in Eastern Gangetic Plains of Nepal, West Bengal, Bihar, and Bangladesh. The theories, namely early human behavior theories, bounded rationality, prospect theory, dual system theory, social cognitive theory, social identity approach, theory of planned behavior, nudge theory. All this theory helped us in preparing the queries for FGD and KII, and also help us in designing and analysis of the result. We have categorized the factors, that is based on distance or abstraction from decision making. The first one, that is dispositional factor. This is the most abstract and more general, more distant and higher in nature, and relatively stable, like personality, like motivation, like preferences, and it is more likely to be related to numbers of behavior, that is multiple behavior, rather than sticking to single one. Next factor, that is social factor, that is the relationship of the farmers with their family members, the relatives, and other neighbor farmers. It includes value and belief, that is, it is an abstract. It is more concrete, injunctive norms, that is, family and village pressure. There is always a pressure there which are pulling back them in adapting the technology. Signaling motives, that is social prestige, social status, social recognition, and under cognitive factors, that is more concrete in nature, it is related to the learning and decision making. Changing dispositional factor, that is a little bit difficult, and it will take time to change these factors, like a perception of risk tolerance, that is directly related to the adoption of CASI technologies. They don't want to take any risks if it is related to their main crop like rice in these eastern Gangetic plains. Some environmental concerns that this will help in maintaining the soil quality and soil texture. It will improve the condition. And farming objective, it is that food security, it is extremely important here in Eastern Gangetic Plains. And the primary source of income and food is crop only. So they extremely averse to change that affect these farming objectives. Now what to do? We can change people perception, that is related to the dispositional factors, and for that it need long-term strategies. That is, initially we should promote less risky CASI technologies like ZT and ST in wheat. We can promote more risky technologies later on like ZT and ST in maize. And we need to establish long-term social marketing programs, like we need to improve the opportunity for income. We need to decrease the drudgery, and we need to increase the food security, that is and also the effect on environment. We need to make them understand, and that is, we need to make them understand that we need to leave our soil in better condition for our next generation. That is changing social factor. The first one, that is cultural and religious. It is found that there is no cultural and religious constraint in adoption of CASI technology, and they also mentioned that there is no influence of any religious leaders on their decision making process. But the farmers who adopted the CASI technology for the first time, they experienced negative comments, negative views, and bad uh, attitudes from the neighbor farmers. But after seeing the result, they just surprised and changed their attitude. So at the initial stage of adoption, the early adopters, they need the support from trustworthy farmers club. It may be from NGO and maybe from government staffs. And there is a need to link to save labor and drudgery, particularly for women farmers, so that they can spend their leisure time with their children education and other household activities. And it is an advantage when the main farmer or the male member of the family working away, the female member, they can look after the farming activities if they adopt these CASI technologies. All the theories like social cognitive theories, social identity approach, and theory of plant behavior suggested to go for group efficacy to overcome these social factors. So when introducing in any new area, field visits is important, and we need to cooperate with farmers club and the members or scientists from respected institutions. This will ease the process in changing the attitude and beliefs. And we need to establish small group of farmers for training and demonstration and social signaling. There is social recognitions, social certification programs, and other these are the possible strategies for changing the social factors. Changing cognitive factors, that is most concrete one, and it is related to the learning and decision making, that is the awareness, that is the knowledge and skill we need to improve. And for this, one strategy is there that we need to frame social marketing program, and there is a need of intervention of messages. And that messages, it must be relevant, it must be timely, it must be appropriately designed, It must be simple also in understanding, and it must be relevant to the target audience. It must be specific to that particular innovations or context. Regarding perceived behavior control or the self-efficacy, that is the perception of their knowledge, skill to make the change, and how easy it will be to adapt. So for this, particularly this perceived behavior control, we need to organize proper training, and we need to organize cross visit or field visit where the CASI technology already has been adopted successfully, and we need to make them understand the perceived benefit and cost about the CASI technologies and risk. That is, if it is it is for main crop, it is in very critical stage. So specific strategies are required to improve the situation, or if we want to change the cognitive factors. Proper training, proper trialing, and observing successful demonstration not only help to change the knowledge and skill, it will also change the attitude and aspiration. And in short, it is known as CASA, that is K for knowledge, A for attitude, S for skill, and A for aspiration. And we need to combine it with social signaling factors like social status, recognition, certification program, social comparisons, etc. These are the innovations by SPs in the provision of services, like we can provide micro incentives in terms of voucher when they're purchasing fertilizers and herbicides. And those who are were in early adopter stage, or those who want to adopt the CASI technology, they must be supported initially by the local department, universities, and NGOs. There is a need of proper training and continuous training and maintaining also. So if you want to summarize it, that is, if you want to conclude this, the behavioral in science insights into improving the adoption, we need to focus on successful and less risky technologies first. You need to use a farmers group to overcome the negative norms and increasing risk tolerance. We need to combine that micro incentives for appropriate inputs with discounts by service providers when farmers contracting for service, and appropriate farming or framing of benefits and cost of CASI technologies must be there. Thank you. Thank a lot for your patience. ABIP team. Thank you.